All right, guys. So I'm sitting here with Nate Hallford and Andrew Campbell.
What's up?
Of the Shithouse Poets.
Yeah, the Shithouse Poets.
I love that name. Where did y'all come up with that?
All right, so it's a long story. You remember Jody?
Bring that mic just a little closer.
Remember Jody Laster?
Yes.
All right, so his older brother Adam, we were homies, and we would play from time to time. He was already graduated college and stuff, but he still liked to jam and stuff. And we were just one night. He's like, "Dude, we need to make a band." I was like, and keep in mind this is like 2009. 10 maybe. He's like, "Man, I got some ideas for a band name." And the first one he put out there was Shithouse Poets, and I was like, "Dude, I love that." So fast forward all these years,
well, that's not. So you already had the name.
Yeah, and
that makes it a lot.
We were talking about like we put like 100 of them. You know.
Yeah, he was just like spitballing, and he like sent me freaking 100 names.
Yeah,
and I was like, I like
Shithouse Poets.
I was like, that's the one. You know?
So when I posted on Facebook that was the band, he commented on there. He's like, "You stole it,
you bastard!"
But no, he's cool with it.
I trademarked that.
Yeah, for real. No, he likes it. He likes it.
Bring it like right. Sorry, just because at the end of the night, I don't want my voice to be overpowering y'all's, but you can bring it all the way to you. So. Yeah, that was like the biggest issue with my podcast. I bought all the stuff and I kept in my head, I was like, all right, I don't know. Like under pressure, I couldn't think of one. Right. But I'm sure over the 15 years that I wanted to do one, I came up with 100 names. But yeah, that was like, I actually named it Tap Out Session first. And and it was like really kind of an inside tattoo joke because tap out sessions or something that it's, in my opinion, not a real thing. True. Yeah. Well, that was my thing. It could be a double entendre, but I settled on bold lines, and I really like that. Like, I like it. It kind of it's simple. It's short and sweet. Yep. But well, you guys have been playing together for like a long time.
How long would you say, Andrew?
Man, we've been playing. I guess since the end of high school.
End of high school. So
08,
07, 08, around that time. Yep.
Yeah, we both had brought our amps to school.
Yeah, on the same day.
We knew of each other, but we weren't like just friends yet. Like we didn't play football together or anything.
Yeah.
But we both had brought our amps up to school in Mr. Brevell's class.
Yep.
And we were like, "Man, you got some pretty cool riffs, man."
Yeah, I was like, "Dang, I did not know you were that good, bro."
And he was like trying to give me advice. I was trying to give him advice, and we ended up clicking.
Yep.
You know, and he ended up giving me a ride home that day with my amp because he saw my dumbass carrying my amp home.
Well, you lived right by the school, but
yeah, I did, but it was still like a 50-pound amp. And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll take a ride. This is heavy."
I need that. Yeah, ever since then, it's been, I don't know. So we grew up two different ways with our music. I grew up, started with classic rock and then got straight into metal. And that's all I played was like Lamb of God, Megadeth, that type of stuff. And his dad was a great jazz guitarist. And he taught him all the time. So he was playing stuff that I hadn't even thought of playing,
Right.
Like he's over here soloing, and I'm like, what even is that? How do you do that? At that point, I didn't even know how to solo.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, my dad was a guitar teacher. He's actually taught a lot of the musicians in this area, and he had a real firm base in music theory. He also taught music theory. So that's kind of where I'm coming from on my playing. He would drill the different chord scales and melodic minor, harmonic minor scales, and
which meant nothing to me at the time.
Right. Right. You're just jamming.
Yep. I was just there.
Yeah. Well, so you guys y'all would just play together, just jamming out, right?
For hours. For hours. And, that was back when we drank. So we'd, have beers the whole time. And,
right.
And it eventually turned into, I went to the Army and I was deployed and I had ordered a guitar and a laptop. And
was that Eddie Ball one that you bought?
Oh, what was it?
Wasn't it the mahogany one?
The Ernie Ball one? No.
Ernie Ball.
It was an Ibanez, I think, that time. It was a cheap Ibanez because I didn't want to ship something to the Middle East that was expensive and like it'd probably just get broken.
Yeah.
So it was like a $400 Ibanez. And then I hit him up. I emailed him because it's really hard to get hold of people from the Middle East. And I hit him up and I was like, "Dude, we need to record something," because I just started recording. And so our first song together it was called 10,000 Miles.
Right.
Because that's how the distance between us when we recorded, because we were just emailing
awesome.
the stuff back and forth to each other when I was deployed.
And it sounded like it was recorded in a trash can.
Yeah.
Of course.
It was actually pretty good, though.
Yeah.
You know,
It was good.
It was our beginning.
Well, there was like a roach in the background, just like, it sounded horrible, man.
Yeah, it did.
Do y'all still like know the song? Do y'all still play it?
Yeah, we were actually talking about re-recording it the other day.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
And we played some of the riffs from it. I was like, what did I play there? Because the way we had to record it is I would like do the riffs and some of the drums, and I'd send it to him, and he'd do the lead over it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we listened to it the other day, and I was like, man, we could definitely do it.
Yeah, there's some good stuff.
Especially with that tapping thing you did it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was sick.
Well, what happened that like made you guys make an official? Would you consider yourselves like a band or a group or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like what was because y'all for years, like 10 years plus, just jammed and drank and hung out.
Yep.
At what point, what was the like thing that made y'all go, hey, let's make fucking actual, like put out music and become an official thing?
I guess it's story time.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you want me to start it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So at one point in our drinking and recording, we got in a fight. And we didn't talk to each other for years. And his dad was like a second father to me. He's the nicest guy ever. And he always wanted us to play again, to play together and hang out and stuff. And he was always trying to get us back together. And he passed away. And, you know, I felt so bad that I couldn't be there, you know, for Andrew and everything. And, you know, we ended up making up over because his dad wanted it. And, you know, we're like best friends again.
Right.
Right. So in that process of, you know, making up, we're like, man, we should really do a tribute song for my dad. Yeah. And that's what started it all. We did a song called Mentor. We're going to play it a little bit later.
Okay.
And we did that song, and we were like, man, this is really going good. Like everything was lining up. Everything felt right. And in that song, we created Shithouse Poets. Like doing that song. You know?
Yeah, I think afterwards when we were like, dude, band name.
Band
name, let's do it.
That's a cool origin story.
Yep.
Especially like, because y'all already had that rapport, right? Like you were already really good at playing together.
It was crazy. Like as soon as we picked up the guitar together, it was like we spoke the same language already. You know, it's with guitar, especially when you're just jamming and stuff, you know, it's really hard to get the feel of the other person that you're playing with.
Yeah, I bet.
And we just started off again that way. It was like we hadn't spent time apart. It was great.
Right.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Almost like friends do with just like conversations, you know, like you got that friend that like you don't see them all the time. You don't keep up with them really, but the moment y'all get in contact again, it's like just yesterday that you saw them, you know?
Exactly.
The chemistry's still there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's badass. I love stories like that where like ever since I found like tattooing, it's been very synchronistic like that for me where like it just one day it clicked and I was like it was just like it found me. I didn't find it, you know? And so I think that happens a lot of times with people with things they're passionate about. It's just like it just happens. Like
we just love music, honestly, and making it and the process of recording and all that stuff and producing and mixing and mastering, it's all very involved.
Yeah.
It's a very involved thing. And you can't make good music by half-assing it.
Right. If you half-ass one single element of it, it's not.
You can hear it. You can tell.
Yeah. I mean.
You can tell somebody didn't try.
Right.
Yep. And we were looking at it the other day on our YouTube channel, and we saw that we just started that thing 3 months ago. You know, we've just actually been trying for about 3 months. Yeah. And it feels like 3 years, you know what I'm saying? Probably because of our extended past, you know, and stuff. But I mean, it's crazy that, you know, so much has happened in this 3 months.
Right.
Yeah, for real.
Well, it is crazy once you dedicate yourself to something, how quickly like things can transpire. Like I've noticed that in my own life over the last 3 years. Like I was thinking about the other day because I was talking with a tattoo artist that like I've looked up to, and loved their work and stuff. And like, I've been in contact with him. He gave me his phone number. Like, yeah, hit me up. I'm going to go do a guest spot with him. It was just so surreal because I saw him on a podcast.
Yeah. That's
you know,
cool,
just so I was like, oh, this guy seems cool. Like, I like his personality, and then liked his work. And like, it's just, there are no boundaries really,
right.
You know?
Yeah.
And as soon as you realize that, I don't know if people call it manifestation.
Yeah.
I think that's just a word, but but for sure, you focus all your energy on something, odds are you can acquire it or make it happen.
Yeah, I absolutely believe in manifestation, man.
Yeah, like, I do too.
I remember when my switch flipped. So I got sober 2 years ago. Haven't had a lick of alcohol since. And, you know, I hadn't found that thing after, you know, I started having, you know, inner monologue and stuff again, you know.
Right.
So I hadn't found that thing to put my energy into. And then after we made that song, man, it was just like in my head, just remembering, you got to go all out. You got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to. Or you're gonna regret it for the rest of your life. You know. So at that point, that's when I went all in. Like, yeah, this is a thing.
Well, and I think because I've struggled with substance abuse, I think that a lot of it stems from that, is this lack of like purpose.
Yeah.
This lack of like, I have all this energy I want to put into something, but I don't know what that thing is.
Right. And whatever substance is your thing, you know, it's something to do.
It's and it's alleviating that stress of like, I'm not fulfilling myself.
Right.
So like the drug numbs you to the point where you're okay with it. You're like, whatever. And then when it wears off, you're depressed again, you know, and it's just a vicious cycle.
Yep. Over and over.
I look at it like everybody has this monster inside of them that they got to feed, you know, with something. It's just a matter of what you choose to feed your monster with, you know. You know, you can feed it with substances, exercise. You can have a creative outlet, you know. And there's some ways are better than others. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Somehow the monster's got to eat though. Yeah. He's still gonna be hungry.
Right. Regardless if you feed it, he's gonna feed himself. You know. And better to channel that into things that you're passionate about and that are gonna bring you joy. You know. For a long time, I didn't. You know. Yeah. And I conjured up a lot of darkness in my life because I
remember the days.
Yeah.
I was there with you, some of them.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah. With me and Nate, though, there were like signs. Like, I also 2 years ago got sober, independent of Nate. Like,
wow.
You know, Nate also lived on Beach Street, like 2 blocks away.
Right.
We like lived the same life. He was living with his old lady. I was living with my old lady.
Yeah,
it was weird.
Long relationships.
Hadn't talked to each other.
There were a lot of, you know, things that were there, you know, the signs basically, you know.
Yeah. The universe talking. Yep.
Yeah. It's always talking, whether or not we open our ears and like pay attention to it.
I agree.
Right. So I was gonna ask, like, what would you consider your genre of music? Like, what are you guys?
Well,
and I know in music that's like, it's such a like how do you nail something down to
exactly? And the way that we make music, there's so many different genres. So,
but that's what I freaking love. That's how like cool shit gets made.
Yeah,
is they bring all these inspirations from other avenues and just like combine them.
So when we were reviewed by this magazine in Spain, it's Rock Culture. I believe
was it Rock Culture?
I think it was Rock.
I think it was Rock Culture. Yeah.
Yeah, they described us as a genre blending act, basically. So basically, the hallmark of our genre is that we use the genres mixed together, but on purpose.
Exactly.
You know?
Right.
Like, so that's kind of how we go about writing our songs. We'll be like, on our last song, Delta Duel, we were like, let's do blues, electronic, and cinematic. Let's do those 3 together because that sounds like a winner.
Yeah.
So I guess for most of our music, you're going to find a mix of electronic, rock, jazz, R&B, and then, you know, we both have metal backgrounds.
Right.
So we don't really record metal anymore per se, but some of those,
some of the licks,
the things that come along with it, like how you mix with quad track guitars and dynamics and everything that comes into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the intensity of it for sure.
Intensity,
we kind of keep that feel to it.
It's very, like, it definitely has an undertone of like prog rock.
Exactly. Yeah.
But at the same time, like now that you're telling me all the inspirations of it, like I can hear that in it because it is such a like hodgepodge of like, it's very different. It's very unique. Like I
agree.
I like it, dude. I've listened to it. I'm not just telling you that because you're here today. Like dude, I used one of your songs on my intro.
Yep.
You know, and it's fucking great for that.
Yeah.
You know that?
Song,
on the
told me that. Which song did you use?
I think it was the Ferryman's Journey.
Ferryman's Journey?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I love, but here's the thing. Why I love it so much, I'm a huge like psychedelic.
Oh,
exactly.
I love that kind of music, and it definitely has a touch of that. Like whether intentionally or not.
We strive for that. We want if you close your eyes when you're listening to it, we want it
You're
to
on
take
a journey.
You somewhere. Yeah, that's the whole plan from the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, how we came up with the name for that. Nate was like, man, he was like, close your eyes, man. He was like, what do you see? And like I was like, man, I just kind of see like a boat floating away. You know, like I just because like the
abyss.
chord, the jazzy chords in it, they kind of almost sound like a bell. You know, that kind of sounds like a bell.
Yeah.
You know, like on a boat or something.
Yeah. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ferryman.
Yeah.
The ferryman.
Yeah, and we're big on Greek mythology.
Yep.
So it's like the ferryman, Chiron or whatever. You know, so it kind of touches on the Greek mythology
I love that.
stuff, man.
And that's what I love about art, period, no matter what avenue you're in, is like you can bring so much to it.
Exactly.
Like you can put yourself in so many different corners of what you're doing. Like I found that with podcasting, with my editing, with just like there's so much you can like do differently that people aren't already doing, you know?
Exactly.
And it's all pulled from like, oh, I like me, I'm a nostalgic guy and I grew up in the 90s. So I like that aesthetic. So like I can see it. I put it into little, like whether it be a logo I make or even like my choices for like how I put text on my podcast when I'm doing like little captions and stuff. Like
just like built into you.
Yeah.
I feel the same. Yeah.
You're channeling all that into what you're working on. And then obviously with art, it's more obvious, but like you can find it in anything, and especially music.
One of the things I love about art and music and stuff is we have a certain interpretation of you know, the music that we make and everything. We hear something and we think of something, but to a different person, it means a totally different thing to them. And that's awesome. We love that. We love that so much.
The universal language, you know. You know, you speak to everyone, but in different ways. You know? So, for sure.
Do you guys plan on being like a dual guitar band, or like do you ever plan on adding in other instruments? Or
definitely. First thing we're gonna do when we start playing live, we got an EP coming out soon. And then we got to get caught up on learning our songs all the way through to get them right. And then we're going to play them live, just us two first, and get the whole set down and everything. And then from there, I believe we want to start writing music with vocals.
Yeah, we definitely are eyeing a vocalist.
Like, so if anybody out there can sing,
hit
us up.
Come see us, man. Because
dude, I picture like a Maynard.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But I love Tool, so of course I think that. Cool. But that was another question I had was like, do you guys play live? Or are you planning to play?
We're planning to play live for sure. We're gonna be playing all the stuff around here. We got the way I want to do it is I'm gonna use my DAW, which is Cubase, what I record in the program, and I want to set up a live show in there, and then I can automate everything to switch the different parts that we have, so we won't have to press anything or anything. Everything will be automated.
Well, see, I was gonna ask how that works live with the electronic part, like.
So it'll play everything, and then it'll just cut out the part. I'll cut out the parts that we're gonna play. So those will be missing in the mix,
right?
And then I'll have it auto switch to that tone that's on that part for either of us. So it'll be like you're listening.
Like on your pedals?
Yeah, but no, it'll be in the computer that does that, so I don't have to have pedals.
Wow.
Right. So we literally just play the two parts we're going to play, and it will switch all of our tones, and we'll have it'll be the full song, you know, all the
have lights that are going along with it and everything,
with a backing track, basically.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, and it'll be really cool because let's say, he wants to play, because we can pick and choose the parts we want to play, because each part has, I don't know, 5, 6 guitars in it sometimes.
Yeah.
So let's say Andrew wants to play this lead part in the chorus, and then there's a bridge afterwards, and he wants to play a clean part in the bridge. All I have to do is program it beforehand to switch those. So he just plays through, and the tone changes itself in the computer.
Damn.
He doesn't have to change anything. He just keeps playing.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, no margin for error.
Man, I don't think anybody around here is doing stuff like that.
No.
You know, like, I don't
Some
know.
of them probably want to, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of stuff to figure out on your own with the read-write automation stuff.
Oh, I imagine.
And
A lot of work.
especially with Cubase. I mean, there's a lot of other programs like Pro Tools and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my
It's
buddy,
like you need a
my buddy over here doing research whenever we're in between our,
Gotcha.
because we record about once a week,
Once a
twice,
week, yeah.
twice a week,
Mhm.
you know. So my buddy over here doing research and figuring out how to get the right sample rates and
got to do
just all
sample
this-
rates. It's a lot of math and stuff.
Yeah, because we at one
Yeah.
point. when
Well,
we
you're
were
the guy for
recording-
that.
Yeah.
I would not be the guy for that.
I find a lot of comfort and fun, finding those things, the perfect sample rate for a thing. The ear can't hear over 4,000, and so I record just a little bit above that. And I was recording 192, I think, 196. It was something crazy, and you can't even hear it. So I was just putting needless strain on my computer.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like dropping out and stuff when we were recording, and I didn't realize that. And then, I did some research, and bam,
Wow.
it's all good.
We've learned a lot
Yeah.
for
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
On the
just trial and error.
it's so much trial and error.
Yeah.
So much trial and error. There's
Yeah.
so many different plugins and compressors and reverbs and all kinds of things that do a certain thing in a certain way that you have to get just right or it sounds off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then it's so rewarding at the end, like you did all this studying, you trial and error, bumped your head and went, well, I just wasted a bunch of time on that. Like I was telling you with the SD cards, it's
Right.
simple shit, but I'll never make that mistake again,
Right.
and you'll see that progression in my art or the podcast of wow, these are better.
Exactly.
Oh, wow, the transitions are smoother. Oh, wow, there's added elements that didn't have them in the early. Yeah, you
can see the progression of my production skills. We had a SoundCloud, us two together, way back in the day, and each song, you can tell my production's getting better and better. I'm adding stuff and actually mastering, and then the last songs we did together before Shithouse Poets, they sound almost professional. They start sounding really good, and then now my mixes and masters are they're on point, and to put all that work in, get it just right. And any other musician can tell you this who's recorded stuff. Once you get it in the car and listen to it in the car, because, your speakers in your studio, they're meant to be reference. So they're not supposed to embellish the sound at all. In fact, they're supposed to not embellish. So like Bose and stuff like that, they're supposed to sound really good. But your studio monitors, you want them to be as
just raw,
even keel.
audio. Yeah.
Exactly. Because then you know what you're mixing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
unfortunately, most people are going to listen on their cell phones.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
noticed with our mixes on the cell phone, you can hear every note played in the whole song.
Yeah.
Everything sits in its own little
I put
area.
a lot of that on, the mastering and the mixing is top notch, I think, in what I'm doing. But there's also that plug-in Renaissance bass.
Oh yeah, the bass.
I put it on my bass and it just instantly stands out. And then you listen to it on your phone, you can hear it. And it's like, how am I hearing this bass through my phone?
Right.
It's a plugin called Renaissance Bass, and I had no idea it existed, and it changed my mixes.
Wait, what does it do?
So it makes it technically what it does is you put it on your bass and then you find the right preset that you want, and it will cut the bottom end out of it and replace that bottom end with something that's more audible. And the different stuff that you do, the different parameters that you change how it does that. And then what you end up with, if you do it right, is the bass sits in the mix so great, and you can hear it through a cell phone. You can hear the bass bumping. So
Wow.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
It does that. Those tiny little speakers, you can hear the bass, but
Wow.
Yeah, magic.
It is like magic. Yeah,
it is.
We listen to it on our phone. We're like, what?
Yes, dude, it's
crazy,
man.
Yep.
Yeah, so using technology, the modern technology is what we do, man.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the best
Ahead of the
possible product. Yeah, we don't want to be behind it.
No,
that's for
hell
sure.
no.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
we're using everything we can. We use AI drumming.
Yeah, sometimes we'll make
I was just
AI
about to
drum
ask
parts and
about
stuff.
AI,
Yeah.
and like I'm sure there's a huge component of that now, right? Like, so
Yeah.
drumming.
Yeah, so I use a program called
Easy Drummer.
Easy Drummer, and part of it is you can have it write a part for you. You plug the riff in that you wrote, you put it into the thing, and it'll write something for you. And then you can change the parameters. You can change if you want it to be on the back beat, front beat, anything like that. And essentially, it just gives you a little template to work with, and then you change it from there.
But it interprets like you put in a specific guitar part or bass part or whatever, and it interprets what it hears and it makes a drum beat for it. And a lot of times it gets it right.
It puts the snare right on the right spot. Then you don't have to spend all that time, trying to find where the snare should be and all that. It puts it in there, and then
you tweak it from there.
Right. Sometimes you got to like half the tempo, to get it to play the right beat. But
Right.
For the most part, it gets it, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Producers are going to be a thing of the past.
Yeah, it's
No,
AI
somebody's still
music's
got to
crazy.
work with the AI, but
Right.
well, there's a lot of debate and controversy over that in tattooing now because of the AI generated art, which I use for some designs.
Right.
It's Midjourney. I don't know if you've fooled
I've
around
used
with
it.
Yeah.
I've made music videos with them. I don't know if I used Midjourney on one of them. I might have.
So I only use it when I'm doing realism, which you're literally copying a reference anyway.
Yeah.
And I make changes to the image that Midjourney gives me. So it's not like I'm just verbatim. Like just with the drumming, I tweak it from there. Like it gives me a cool idea, and I'm like, oh, okay, but I'd rather her nose to be shaped this way or whatever.
Right.
But there's a huge controversy about it because
I
it's
agree,
like
yeah.
you're fucking cheating. But at the same time, like opposed to these people who are on Pinterest getting their photos.
Right.
Well, now my client has a completely original photograph that's not on 100 different people.
Exactly.
So what bad is being done there?
Here's how I feel about it. And I don't know if, Andrew, you probably feel the same way because we did use AI for some of our stuff. So we created, for 2 of our songs so far, we've created music videos that are just, have you ever listened to like the Lo-Fi Girl?
Yes.
It's kind of a loop video.
No, that is exactly the vibe I got from the one I watched of the Ferryman's Journey one.
Right. So we had them generate the image, and then we had them, we prompted it to change it just the way we wanted. And then we made it do like a 10-second loop where it looks like it's moving and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to get with
Right,
you. I got to
and-
find out how you did that.
I'll show you how. It's actually pretty cool. But
you got to get the text just right in there, and
Right.
it will animate the picture. You tell it exactly what you want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the ferryman, we were trying to get him his cape to move.
Is this on Midjourney?
was that one? I think that one ended up on Midjourney, I believe. I think we
But
got
the animated part of it?
the animated part was, yeah. And then the picture we had Chat GPT make.
Oh, I didn't know
original-
ChatGPT
Then
was
we
doing
took
that.
it to CapCut. And
Yeah.
we
CapCut's
used
great.
the loops. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, it gave us like
Added
3 different
effects.
loops, and then we changed those loops to match up with the music in CapCut. Mm-hmm. So like at certain parts of the song, when the feeling changes in the song, the video also changes a little bit. So it's not just one continuous loop. It's like 4 different loops doing different things at different times during the song.
Yeah, because it definitely, when I watched it, I was like, damn, how are they doing that? I thought maybe you paid a guy to fucking do this, because I was like, we're definitely going to have to talk about that off air.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of
That's
research,
awesome.
and I went through a couple websites that were promising to make really good videos and stuff, and I couldn't get them to make consistent stuff. So I ended up having to just have a picture generated, then have them animate that one picture.
Yeah.
That was the easy way to go. I really wanted to make a whole music video, have it like written out, and have the AI make the whole video.
Yeah.
It worked for like half the video, and then the characters started changing and stuff. And it's like, well, this white guy before is now a black guy. It's like, wow, this guy's now an alien.
Well,
for
in
some
Hollywood,
reason.
that would be fine.
Yeah.
But
Netflix.
I've noticed that with or if you use Midjourney, it gives you 4 different references, right? And there'll be one where like her fucking arm is just like coming out of her chest, or she has. I was doing a skeleton hand the other day, and it had like 6 fingers, and and that's the kind of shit where like I easily can edit that, but you got to pay attention because it can fuck you up.
It'll make some crazy stuff. Like with the ferryman when we were creating the picture, we were like, you got to get the ferryman in the boat.
We had to tell to put him in the boat,
behind the boat, and gigantic. It'll make some crazy mistakes.
One of them, we wanted him holding like a scythe or something, and then like the arm was coming out of like his dick area, and it was holding his scythe.
They're like holding a scythe.
Dick scythe.
It did what we said.
You mean like this? It doesn't work like
You
that.
didn't say my dick couldn't hold the scythe.
His dick was holding the scythe.
I struggle with it, man. Just like getting it, saying it just right. Yeah, man, my dick, I can't get it to grip it just right.
It's a real issue.
I lack posable thumbs.
Yeah. Wait, you don't have thumbs on your dick? This guy, he doesn't have thumbs on his dick.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I feel insufficient. I'm not doing something right. No, but I struggle with like saying it just right so it does just what you want.
Yeah.
That's scripting. That's a whole job. And when going back to the art thing, I feel like actual artists have the right to use, AI, but like just people making art, that aren't, don't do it for a living. I feel like that's not fair. Like, I'm not big on the AI for that because
it's kind of taking work from other people.
It's taking away, the specialness of being an artist in a way. Like it's like say you were like, man, look at this really cool design I did.
Someone's kid is missing.
Somebody's like, oh well, that's cool. Look at what I made with AI. It's like that's not the same,
Cool, I guess.
Cool, but I mean, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
The way I see it is like, if you have the means, if you have the money, and you have, a way to get artists to make stuff for you, then you should do that.
Yeah.
Like in our situation, we're not rich, and we could pay someone on Fiverr, a couple $100 to make that animated video for us, but it just makes it so much easier on us to be able to, we put the work in ourselves to make it.
You now put like your energies and your artistic vision isn't only in your music now. It's and that's what I was getting at earlier. Like I'm wanting to get into making like some T-shirts and merch and stuff. I've designed a few. I just got to get them printed. But like I can bring all these things into like I'm marketing myself.
Right.
I just have different avenues of expressing it.
That's definitely something we want to do with you. We would love for you to design some of our art.
That would be sick. Well, and that's I love collabing with people. I just designed a beer label for this craft beer brewery that's up in Hochatown, and so that was like my first commissioned, like real commissioned piece of art. And
that's pretty cool.
It was.
I bet that felt good.
It was fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Like they're gonna use me for their seasonal stuff, which it was cool. They kind of gave me the name of it and pretty much let me run with it, and but I don't know how we got on that topic, but I already asked you about the live shows. So y'all are kind of new to putting your music out there. Other than y'all used to do SoundCloud, but that's just upload and
we weren't really doing it for anything other than if somebody wanted to listen to it, be like pull it up so they can hear it.
Right.
Yeah, we're new to actually releasing our music on Apple Music.
Well, and marketing it through social. So like, what's that been like? Because I know for me, it's another job.
It is.
It's another way of expressing yourself, but man, it's a lot of work.
It's a whole ass job.
So we'll get together on a day that we're recording, right? And then halfway through, we're like, all right, we need to try to get some content done. And it's like a whole nother job trying to get those things released at certain times when you think you're going to get the most views and the most likes and stuff like that. And it is a whole nother job. But I mean, from what we've discovered, we're getting more and more of an audience.
Right. It's getting
every day.
steadier.
It's getting steadier.
Yeah. but it is really hard to get like followers. Like to
it's hard to get people to listen to your stuff and all that.
Yeah,
so much content out there.
So that just organically happened. But that was a question I had for you was like how intimidating was it being like, okay, I'm gonna put my stuff out there.
Right.
And in your mind, obviously, the whole point of you putting it out there is so that people will hear it.
Right.
And you're like, how do I get people to listen to mine when there's so much being put out?
Yeah, it's like you grab your music and you throw it out into the ether, and there's just so many more out there. Yeah.
Yeah, like you got to get, because I deal with it with the podcast. I'm like, I know I'm putting all of me into it, and I like feel confident in it, but it's like you still got to get somebody in there to give you the chance.
Right.
Right. To me, it's crazy in the modern world to, us making music being adjacent to TikTok dances. And stuff, you know? Like it's like, oh, it's Shithouse Poets, and then it's like, oh, cool TikTok dance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like somebody scrolling through TikTok, likes our thing, and then they flick the thing up, and then there's a girl.
Yeah.
It's like, why are we? Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a huge playing field. Mm-hmm. And you're competing with people that aren't even necessarily doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I know it, man.
And so it's almost, people complain about it a lot in tattooing, like, well, it's bullshit. Like my art should just speak for itself. Like you got these people who are like famous for being tattoo artists that aren't even all that great.
Right.
But because they can do funny skits or they can market themselves well in a way that people will respond to. And so, but a lot of that is just people not wanting to get with the times. And like, I mean, you don't have to do it, but it's kind of null and void to sit here and bitch about why they're doing better than you. You know why, because they're putting in this extra effort in this other way.
Mm-hmm. And it does feel stupid just sitting there and trying to make like a stupid video, and we're just sitting there on a third take and we're like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel like that sometimes.
Mm-hmm. We had a video that did pretty good when I was over there recording, so I got my like concerned face trying to nail the take down, and Nate just like over there recording me without me. Yeah, without me even knowing. He's like, and by the way, I'm recording you this whole time. And just something like that actually did pretty good for us,
Those are the easy ones you could just naturally do.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that was the weirdest part of doing these podcasts is like you, like in your head, you think you know how it's going to go, and then you sit down, hit record, and you're like...
True.
What do I say?
Right.
You want it to feel as natural as possible, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Just be yourself and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta like... You just got to put it outside your mind that a camera's watching you.
Yeah,
like it's,
exactly.
But
and,
practice
always
is where that comes from.
That little voice in your head that's going to tell you you're not good enough.
Yes.
Yep.
100%.
And then
self-doubt.
You just got to get that out the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was watching a couple days ago. I was watching a podcast with you and Joe Teal.
Yeah, Joe's cool.
Yeah, Joe's so cool, man. And I just recently started following him too. And you guys just had a natural.
Dude, that was the first time I'd ever met him. Never met him in my life.
You guys just are talkers, and y'all just went at it, man. And it's really super interesting, man. I watched the whole thing.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
so I gave it a share and all that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like, and I love that too. Like, that's why I like the podcast because I can collaborate with people doing other things that I think's interesting.
Right.
Right. Like in this community, like this town isn't huge, but it's not small.
Right.
There's a lot of fucking potential here. It's not being tapped.
Untapped. Yeah, I was just about to say untapped potential, man.
Yeah. So like people for a long time when I was young, I complained like there's nothing going on here. Like, well, bitch, make something going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get something really big, and not big because it got shared a million times, but big because people actually like it.
Yeah, people respond.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yep.
Legitimate content,
Yeah.
unique.
It is very unique.
It is.
Our music is
You've
unique.
got that. Like
We were listening to one of our songs the other day. It just came on random, and then I thought about it, and I clicked next, and Buckethead popped up, and I was like, "Ooh, it thinks we're like Buckethead."
Yeah, and then
That's
we did
cool.
yeah, that's awesome.
We did this song called "The Purveyor's Accord," and I was listening to it on Spotify, and then right after freaking Death Note theme song popped up, and it's like the dun 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 dun, and I was like, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
That's
a
cool.
cool ass song.
Yeah.
We sound like Death Note.
Yeah, there are little moments when you start like putting yourself out there, whether it be with your music, with podcasts, with me like doing tattooing and stuff. Like you have these little moments where you get what is a really common used term now, which I'd never heard until like 2 years ago, but like that what do they call it?
That really common word, it's called.
It's super common. It gets used a lot, not by me, but oh shit, where you feel like fuck. It's a term where you like feel like you don't deserve it, like imposter syndrome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome. You get that a lot. You know, like I have those moments where I'm like, it's really what it is it's self-doubt.
It is.
You're like,
self-doubt.
You're like, who the fuck am I to be doing all this?
Yeah, nobody wants to fucking listen to me. Like,
exactly.
What do I have to say? And but that's really not how I feel. It's what I think people are going to assume about me.
Well, it's, the devil on your shoulder. You suck.
Yeah.
And then the angel's like, you don't suck.
Yeah, don't even try. Yeah.
That's
don't try. But
I think makes all this stuff special, man. It's we're willing to put ourselves out there, take criticism, roll with it, keep creating what we like to do,
Because you're conditioned from school to not do that.
Exactly.
Like, no, like you can't be an artist and make money.
Yep.
Like you're going to go work at Cooper Tire. You're going to have a couple kids. You're going to drink some beers when you go home and just fucking deal with the anxiety and misery.
I find I'm at my happiest when I'm creating art. And I always have been. And it took me a while to realize that.
Yeah.
I thought I was happy playing football in college. I thought I was happy, doing all these different things, getting with women and going to the bar and getting fucked up and shit. That shit did not make me happy. It made me the opposite. What makes me happy is creating art.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Yeah. Well, and it's never too late. Like, I mean, I was 29 when I decided I was going to start tattooing, which is very intimidating when you're doing it because, like, you're working. People that have been doing it 10 years are your age, and you're like, fuck, I'm just now starting. And the kids that are 18 are where you're at, and it's like more of that imposter syndrome. Like, I can't do this. I'm too old. My time passed me up. But at the same time, I was so hungry. I feel like I progressed faster.
Yeah.
Because I'd also lived a whole nother life. You did. I knew that I didn't want to go back to a 9 to 5.
Not going back in that hole.
Yeah, I'm sure there's better examples of this, but it was like Bryan Cranston from like Breaking Bad, Malcolm in the Middle. Like he was like working like extras and just really small roles, and he finally landed that role on Malcolm in the Middle. Like his like breakout role he landed when he was like, I don't remember, it was like 40 or something.
Wow.
40,
something like that.
Yeah.
And then he did Breaking Bad when he was like 50.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine your life's work, man. You like go most of your life
until
you do it.
I mean,
that guy probably appreciate it way more than fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, who's been doing it since he was 12.
Harrison Ford, he was a carpenter his whole life until he got the role of what's his name,
Han Solo.
Han Solo. Yeah. He wasn't even an actor. He was a carpenter, and he was old.
Wasn't Danny Trejo? He like spent a whole lifetime in prison. And
it wasn't a whole lifetime, but he went to prison. That's where he got that tattoo.
Yeah,
that looks like Salma Hayek.
Yeah, man, keep grinding.
That's a crazy story.
Well, I love stories like that. It's inspiring to know like you're not the only one.
I read this quote that was like, "Nobody cares about your journey until you win." So
damn,
it's inspiring in a way. But also, it's like kind of sad.
Yeah,
I tell my friends, from back in the day that still party and stuff. I'm like, hey man, I'll give you a helping hand out of that hole, but I ain't climbing down in there with you. I can't,
right?
Because it ruined my life, my drinking and my drug use and all that type of stuff. It finally did, and when I finally realized and admitted that to myself, changed everything for me.
Yeah.
Once I actually admitted it to myself.
Yeah.
You're an alcoholic.
Instant Yeah.
right off my back. Right then, it felt like I was lighter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I kin it to when I was finally getting sober for a long period of time. I felt like I had been possessed for a while.
Exactly. That's
Like
how I felt
wasn't
too.
living my life.
Exactly.
Like I was just this conduit for whatever the hell was driving me to do all the
Exactly. It almost felt like you weren't
degenerate
thinking.
shit I was doing.
You weren't living your truth.
And it made me sad because I was like, damn. Like me and Casey were together at the time, and I was like, damn, like you don't even like you've been with somebody else. Like I'm just now giving you all of me, you know?
I felt bad for my wife too. I really did. You know, it's like she wasn't getting what she deserved.
Yeah.
She was married to me at that time. You know?
Yeah. She knew what you were capable of, and you weren't living up to it, because that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely feel that way. Yeah. And we had our struggles and everything, but, we're back living together and we're still married, and, we got a big future ahead of us.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that I don't have to almost kill myself every weekend with,
Shout out to Courtney.
double things of vodka.
Yeah.
I was so stupid.
Yeah, just wilding out.
Damn, you could drink a lot.
I could, and I
was
took
impressive.
so much pride in it.
That was your badge of honor.
I was like, yeah, I'd drink more than you. I'd walk around the bar with a whole pitcher like it was a glass.
Yeah,
because I'm big, so I'd have a pitcher as a glass, drink it out.
Literally, my impression of me and Nate is like let's say we're just casually drinking. We both start drinking our beer at the same time. See who can win.
Yep. Start chugging out of nowhere.
I know, man.
Alcohol's a bad one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, I think it might be the worst. It is. I always say it's the worst drug.
I think it's I don't think it's worse than heroin, but there's so many more people that are affected by alcohol.
Right.
Well, I saw this
More
list.
readily available.
Yeah.
I saw this list, and they were ranking all the hard drugs, and they ranked alcohol first.
Yeah, I would say it is.
How accessible it is, and think about like domestic violence and stuff. Like,
Yeah, or car accidents.
A guy that would never lay a finger on anybody is beating his wife.
Yep.
So
Hey, if any of you out there are wondering if you're an alcoholic and you had some of these things happen to you in your life and you're thinking about it, you might be.
You are. If you're wondering.
You are.
If you're asking yourself, you are.
if you're in doubt,
And there's help out there for you to get. Go get it. It'll change your life.
Well, I'm hoping with this new administration coming in and them focusing so heavily on like the health of American citizens, that I hope that's a huge part of, like that's Bobby Kennedy. That's like his whole thing is he's going after big pharma, which sounds terrifying to me, dude. You're gonna end up.
God. Yes.
You're gonna end up fucking murdered.
He's gonna disappear or something.
Oh my God! But thank God for people like him if he's really gonna do it.
He's standing up.
But that's a huge, because I dealt with addiction for so long. That is like a huge, like it's a thing I'm very passionate about, and I feel like no administration's ever given a shit about it. They don't even talk
and
about it.
yours started when you were a kid, when you got shot.
Yeah.
All the way back then.
Yeah.
Like, if they hadn't prescribed that to you,
Yeah.
you might not have known the taste of it.
Right.
That feeling in your stomach.
Right.
You wouldn't have known that taste.
No.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, they created the problem, and then when they realized, holy shit, really what happened, it's not like they felt bad about it. The government was like, hey, you guys are giving out like heroin. And they were like, oh, okay, you got us. All right, so nobody can get it. Well, the problem's already there.
It's already
you
there.
addicted millions of people to it.
Yes.
And now you're like, nope, can't have it.
Nope,
and we'll offer you no solution on how to get off of
solution.
it.
Exactly.
And then,
Ugh.
oddly enough, fentanyl popped up right at the perfect
Could you
time.
imagine that?
out of nowhere.
Here, we got something for you.
And luckily, a lot of people are trying something called kratom.
Mm-hmm.
sure you've
Well,
heard
and the
of it.
fucking government tried to make that illegal.
Yep.
Yep, and it's
The
legal
FDA.
in Arkansas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll
and,
go to jail if they catch you with it. Yeah, no, there's
Felony, I
tons of
believe.
heroin addicts, opiate addicts that have been, that it's helped tremendously.
Well, it actually, from what I've heard, it actually binds to the receptors that the heroin and fentanyl and everything binds to. So it doesn't get you super high. It just covers those receptors, which makes you not have the craving.
Yeah, it acts on the opiate receptors, but isn't an opiate.
Yeah, exactly.
They're alkaloids. It's not an opiate.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like an opioid, I believe.
And it's natural. It's a plant.
Yes, man.
You know, like, of course they try to squash it. They can't fucking
exactly. Yeah,
patent
they're
it.
not making money off of it, so that's why they don't want it.
Yeah, I remember years back, I got a bump on my elbow. Like I was running and my legs gave out and I rolled and I hit my elbow really hard and so I had a hematoma, right? They gave me like 30 hydrocodone 10s. That was not necessary. Yeah. I was like,
and you were like at the time probably like,
out of my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, sweet, man, big pharma.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you guys are the best.
Looking out for me.
I didn't need that, that if I had never got those, I probably wouldn't have, went down that path.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, and there's we know people that are dead now because
tons of them.
Same story. Just they didn't get out of it.
Too many, too young.
Too many RIPs.
Yeah. Well, of course we're getting to that age too, but
yeah,
where you start knowing
dead people.
Casualties.
I see dead people.
I know dead people.
But yeah, I really hope that we start getting some answers on
we deserve answers from Big Pharma. I agree with that.
There needs to be some sort of solution offered by whether it be like the states or there's not that there's not people out there that don't care and aren't like offering treatment and stuff, but it's insufficient. It is. There's a huge problem.
Right. And I read somewhere that it's the biggest lawsuit of all time. The suing the big
Statlers
pharma.
Or whatever.
Yeah, the Sacklers, I think.
Oh yeah,
yeah, suing them, and it's like over $1 billion lawsuit because they've admitted, like you said, they've admitted to this.
Damn, I need in on that.
That's insane. Yeah, Jamie, pull that up.
Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah. Is that true?
I need a Jamie.
Sacklers, right? Yeah, we're looking for a Jamie. So
yeah, Jamie, if you're out there,
Jamie out there that doesn't want to get paid, just internship.
Yeah, intern.
It's a good opportunity. You'll learn a lot.
What you guys want to play some music?
We can do that. Yeah,
definitely do that.
We can do some improv, make some stuff up on the spot. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I'll play a few chords on the acoustic, and
we can switch it off back and forth.
Play a little melody.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good.
Do it, man.
We'll get everything set up and then we'll fast forward to it.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. You want to switch it up?
Yeah.
What was that lick you were playing? Ooh, yeah, that sounds good, bro.
Yeah, a little bluesy, huh?
I like that.
Yeah, you like that Jimmy Page lick?
Yeah. So a lot of what we do just is like the way we start a song is we'll have an idea. It'll be a riff or something. Like let's say, like the idea how we started Delta Duel was we wanted
B.B. King.
a B.B. King style sound. So we adapted a few riffs, and that's kind of what we ended up with was that type of thing. And then from there we start building, and we ended up wanting to do like a question answer thing, which is like this. I'll ask you a question.
No, thanks, I'm fine.
Then you got to answer a question. And so you start having a conversation like that, back and forth, and that's how we wanted to start making the song. And the process of writing music, we do it a bit different. Some people plan out the whole thing. We start out with an idea, and then we build around that.
Kind of improv it.
We improv it because we've been playing together for so long. We just we really just have it figured out that where our creativeness happens is right there in that conversation back and forth, figuring things out together. That's where the creative happens, right there.
So like it's almost like we're improving as we write. Like
exactly.
You record one part down, and when you listen to that part back, you're like, oh, this is what goes over.
I'm gonna go here. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you just keep doing that until the song is done.
Yep.
Well, it makes it very like in the moment, like
yeah.
I don't know, it's that's an interesting way of writing because it is different from like somebody that's gonna write a fucking pop ballad.
Exactly.
It's this like I don't know, this like well planned out, like written down and done over and over again, where you guys are like feeling it in the moment and just
where it feels
go from there.
If it feels like it should go somewhere, where does it? This is like the type of conversation we'll have, and be like, this feels like it's gonna go somewhere. Where is it gonna go?
Right.
He'll be like, I'm hearing this. He'll start playing. You start playing something, and then like, what if we did it like that, but with this? And then it's like a, instantly it's like we build off of each other's things, and that's how we end up.
Or sometimes we'll have two parts, and we're like, how do we figure out what goes in between our two parts? Like, how do we connect those? And sometimes that works to our benefit.
Like in Delta Duel, we stopped recording one day, and the next thing we needed to write was a bridge. And I was like, you know what? I'll write a bridge tonight. So I went home, and I was just sitting there playing around, and I looked up the relative minor of the last chord that we played, and then I know that's going to be a good transition there. And then I just wrote from there. So that note changed from the last note to the beginning note of the next one, and then that's where you start writing from there.
All right.
And it was okay, but we ended up dropping it a few, and it sounded perfect.
Yeah,
we
because
transcribed
it. We can. Oops, that was the wrong key.
Oops, wrong key.
Change it.
Move it down a little bit.
How difficult is it to then, once you've wrote this, you've recorded it, and then I would assume you do it kind of like they would do like a rap song, where like you record that part, and now you're like, okay, and then you add on. You're not going back from the beginning and then playing the whole thing together, right? Or
no. Unless, sometimes we do that, and we will do that when we're trying to learn the songs for live sets. We'll go through it a bunch of times, just over and over. Once we figure out what parts we want to play and stuff like that, we'll play it all the way through 20, 30 times before we play it live.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is how difficult is it to go back and replicate these things that you're just like, because you're not playing like G, D,
Right. Yeah.
like it's not. It's much more complex than somebody writing a country song.
It is. Yes, it is much more complex.
We're
but
using G9s.
Yeah,
and
G9s.
sevens and
You know, susses, sus fours.
and
So
twos.
can you go back? All right, let's say you record this song and then you're like, we want to play this one live. You can go back and listen and go, oh yeah, I was playing this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's crazy to me.
At that point, we'll have to make a decision if we want to play it exactly like the album, or if we want to improvise on certain parts. You know, where the solo is. If there's a solo, we don't have to do the same thing every time. As long as we know what points we have to hit, you know, we can freestyle that every time if we want to.
Yeah.
You know, and there'll probably be several parts in each song that are just freestyled. As long as they're in the right key, right place, sound good, you can make stuff up on the spot.
Yeah.
And that's gonna keep the live shows going fun wise. You know, we don't want to play the same thing over and over again all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, Nate, do you remember the chords to the chorus of Delta Duel, the new song?
Let me see.
It's the A minor.
Yeah.
F
I remember
major
it.
7.
Let me see.
G major, G9. Back down to E. Yeah, this
That
is
one?
a beautiful. Yeah, this is a beautiful chord progression. Remember this part?
Sometimes it gets really hard. Let me get this up here. Sometimes it gets really hard to keep playing and not look at what he's playing.
Yeah.
Because he's playing some awesome stuff. You're like,
Yeah,
"Ooh,"
that
and
was
you're like,
bad.
oh, I almost messed up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a good song. Y'all check that out. Delta X Duel.
That's okay. I just listened to that earlier.
Yeah.
That was good.
It's our take on it, like you know, Robert Johnson, you know, supposedly sold his soul to the devil. And it's like our version of like a duel against the devil type of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, like a Charlie Daniels.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
maybe Tenacious D, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
Tenacious D, yeah.
Yeah.
Pick a destiny.
Tribute, same thing, yeah.
Let's go.
But yeah, it really had that feeling of like a duel against the devil. And Halloween was coming, so we're like, yeah, something cool like that.
Yeah. It was badass. I listened to it earlier.
We wanted to pay homage to, you know, the great Delta blues players and the old school blues players, Robert Johnson, B.B. King, that type of thing.
While adding our signature genre blend,
Yep.
as we've been described.
Yep.
You know.
Do you still play your hollow body?
Yep.
Yeah. I love that guitar.
Oh yeah, that's sick.
That's perfect for
Oh,
that kind of
that
stuff.
one. That one though is I gave it to my nephew because it was his late dad's guitar, and I ended up giving it back to him when he turned, I think 14. I was like, I think you're old enough to take care of this guitar.
Yeah.
Very good guitar. It was 70s Gibson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I think you're old enough to take care of this. I'm gonna give you your dad's guitar, and he plays it. He sent me a video of him playing Everlong by the Foo Fighters the other day.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yes,
That's awesome.
your dad would be so proud. You know.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, it really is.
Apparently, he cheated on his wife, Dave Grohl.
At that time? Or no, recently?
Recently.
Oh.
Did he?
Yeah, or maybe it just
Damn it,
recently
Dave.
came out. I know, dude.
No, not
we
Dave.
loved you, bro.
We still love you,
You were
Dave.
the best of us.
Yeah, you'd probably be challenged to find a single rock star that didn't cheat on their wife.
At some point, yeah.
Not that that's justifiable, but
it's not justifiable. But life on the road's got to be hard.
And was like, "Yeah, motherfucker, I'm telling on you."
Do they split?
I don't know. I think they're still together.
Yeah, you can't leave Dave Grohl.
Yeah, it's Dave Grohl.
It's freaking Dave Grohl.
Smile.
He's got a lot of money. That's that Nirvana money.
No. Oh yeah, he's still getting royalties.
Oh, for sure.
Courtney Love's still coming after that money.
That bitch.
All these years later, probably.
That bitch. You know, I watched that Soaked in Bleach when it first came out.
Yes.
And I remember being like, yeah, she fucking definitely had him killed.
She did it.
And then I didn't watch it for years. And I started thinking about it because I'm a huge Nirvana. I love all the 90s grunge, but especially Alice in Chains. But Lane Staley's like, that's my guy. You know, I think because of my opiate addiction, like I relate to that music so much.
Right.
And plus it's nostalgic. But I started thinking about that movie and I was like, man, I don't really remember. I was like, maybe, you know, because it seems conspiracy, you know? And so I went back and watched it and I was like, oh, yeah, no, she definitely had that motherfucker killed.
Sure
There's
she did.
a lot of red flags.
Yeah, Soaked in Bleach. Yeah, she did it.
If that private investigator is telling the truth and he seemed like such a like cop, like straight up, like no bullshit, then if everything he says is true, like definitely something was going on.
Right. I remember when it happened, me and my older brother were big Nirvana fans. And like right when it happened, I remember him turning to me and like, Courtney Love killed him. And it was before any of that stuff came out. She wasn't even in diet. You know, people didn't even think she had anything to do with it at that time. But he's like, she killed him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, because like, didn't he have like shoes on? And they're like the only way he could have pulled the trigger was with like his feet. Yeah, like shoes on.
If she didn't pull the trigger, she definitely shot him up with that 8-ball. Not the 8-ball. What's it called? The speedball. She definitely shot him up too much with that speedball that he took.
Well, it was so strange that she had that private investigator go to their house, but told him like to go to the totally other part of the house and didn't mention the guest house at all. Almost to give an alibi that like, look, he wasn't even there.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
and
he asked her to do it, but I don't know, man. She still did.
I don't know if she pulled the trigger or not. I don't know if we'll ever know that, but I do know
from what it looked like that their buddy, that, you know, it was supposed to be a friend, and he like the private investigator was like, something more was going on here. Like they were very close.
Yeah.
She thinks that she put him up to it.
Maybe.
I've watched I'm all about talking about some 90s grunge. So like I am huge, like I'm planning to do this Lane Staley portrait on a guy that a friend of mine, we're gonna do like this cool like color infusion black and gray portrait of Lane Staley.
Right.
But I every now and then I'll dive down the rabbit hole and watch a bunch of videos, projects people put together, like YouTube documentaries. But there's one like the demise or the last days of Lane Staley, and that shit's just sad. Like he was a tortured soul.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
he's one of those, like he wanted to go out that way.
Yeah.
One of those Robin Williams types.
Yeah.
You know, just very depressed and all that.
Yeah.
And you
So many
hear it in
people
his
didn't know.
music.
Yeah, you can.
You just, I mean, that to me, that MTV Unplugged of them is the one of the greatest fucking recordings of live performance ever.
Yep.
And he like apparently he came out later than everybody because he wanted to wait to the last possible minute to shoot up so that it would last. And so like he messed up. It's not in the final cut, but he messed up a bunch of songs and they had to like redo it. But you can, watching that, knowing that, you can see on his face, he's just like, you know,
Right.
he's out of there.
He was in the pines.
Yeah.
In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine.
Yeah, that's
I would shiver the whole night through.
yeah, that is a great recording. All those,
Beautiful singing voice, Nate.
Thank you.
yeah, you don't need to look for a singer, bro. You are a singer.
I've thought about doing it, but I can't play and sing at the same time.
What are y'all thinking, singer?
Man,
We got our minds open. You
I
know?
was listening to Hosier the other day, and I was like, damn, maybe somebody like that with like the dynamic vocals, but with that raw emotion, you know, somebody like that. So one of the best singers in the world. Yeah.
Well, I have all the programs and stuff to make it sound, your vocals sound like, you know, you paid $1 million to have it done.
Yeah.
I have all that stuff. So whoever's out there that wants to sing, I can make you sound good.
Yeah, we got a producer for you. Just bring your fucking voice box.
Yeah. And we can write the lyrics if we want.
Yeah,
I would like the lyricist or the vocals to be able to write their own vocals, but we can. We have to.
A big part of it for us is like finding someone like-minded, you know,
Exactly.
somebody that we can really just vibe with. That's I think that's just as important as vocal ability. Because if you have an asshole singer that's wanting to, well, I'm the leader of the band. You know,
well, it's tale as old as time. Look at Pantera. Look at, you know, like, and it inevitably, usually, the lead guy, you know, he just, and understandably, like, oh, look, everybody loves me. And it's
you're the face of the band, but in this
but you don't make
like,
the band.
People like Pantera, so they like me.
We're the Shithouse Poets, you know. You're not going to take that from us.
No.
We're the creators, so.
Yeah, so no egomaniacs.
Yep.
Exactly.
Just
no
talented
egomaniacs.
singers.
If you're talented, yeah. If you're mediocre, that's cool too.
Yeah.
I can still make you sound
Hey,
good.
some of the like most legendary figures weren't like an Adele voice, you
Right.
know, like they just, Lane Staley, he did have an amazing voice, but like it was that raw emotion in his voice that like made him great.
Yeah, man. Like also like Chris Cornell.
Yeah,
Oh,
fuck
He
yeah.
had that quality.
Yeah.
For sure. Sad story, you know. Him and Chester too, Chester Benningfield. That's crazy because, you know, they were like best friends.
Yeah.
And it was like a couple months after Chris Cornell killed himself that Chester did. So it's like insane.
That still makes me sad.
Gosh.
Every time I hear a
Yeah.
Linkin
Let's
Park
take a
song,
break
I'm
and
like,
cry real quick.
yeah.
Hey, by the way, if anybody is struggling with depression and you've made plans to do that, reach out to somebody.
Yeah, they have hotlines for that.
Reach out to somebody.
Yeah, I want to say from personal experience, as someone who has attempted, you know, suicide multiple times, it really can get better, and it really does get better. But you got to give yourself a fighting chance. You got to do the work.
Yes.
Exercise. You know all the crap that everyone around you's telling you to do it. You know, clean your room, do all those things.
Cleaning helps so much.
Listen to Jordan.
really does.
Jordan
Peterson.
Peterson.
Yes, bro.
100%.
Yeah, he'll tell you what to do. You just got to listen. You
Yep.
got to put in the work. You can't just lay in bed and expect it to get better one day. It's not going to get better that way.
No, it's exacerbating it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's ejaculating it.
Yeah.
What he said.
Erectile dysfunction is what it is.
Yes.
That causes depression, I would imagine.
Yeah, it probably does.
And then, ironically, they put you on antidepressants that literally cause.
No ejaculations ever. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm glad we spun suicide into
Ejaculation.
dick jokes,
and
erection, and ejaculation jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I
we
mean-
take it very serious, you know?
How many of those kids have gone down the drain, you know?
That's what artists. Oh
Sewer
my God.
babies. Damn, it'd make a good comic book, dude. It's just like kind of like the Ninja Turtles, but it's a bunch of like mutant babies that are coming out of the sewers in New York at night.
Wow. Why hasn't South Park done that yet?
I don't know.
They need to. But no, I was going to say that's what artists do, though, isn't it? We take our pain and we turn it into something positive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what we do, man.
Yeah.
Perfect
I agree.
example.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people struggle with that. They're like, well, if I get off these drugs, I'm not going to be interesting. You know, this is the thing that makes me. And a lot of those cases, it is weird like that, where like Lane Staley, amazing, tormented soul. Chris Cornell, you know, Mac Miller, I guess you could say, you know, not that he like intentionally killed himself, but like
They all had the imposter syndrome.
it makes
thing,
them,
too.
yeah. I think Kurt Cobain had that like real
Definitely.
bad.
He felt like
Real
nobody
bad.
understood his music.
You can kind of see it on his face a little bit.
Yeah, he felt like he was not, you know, like, yeah, it's hard to live up to that image that people have of you.
Yeah, Mitch
Yeah,
Hedberg's
that's
a good
true.
example of
Yeah.
being able to
Yeah.
see it on his face because, like, remember he would look down at the audience, man, and he couldn't look, or well, not at the audience.
He'd
but
look
he
at
would
his cup,
down.
really.
Yeah, he would look down.
All
where,
right.
You know, he couldn't really look up because he was just that embarrassed and, you know, ashamed.
Yeah, he was
so
great.
talented.
Probably my favorite comic of all time.
Yeah, so talented, but didn't believe in himself, you know.
All right. We always said that. All right.
Man, he was the greatest one-liner.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
my
used
God,
to
yeah.
do drugs. I still do, but I used to do.
My favorite one was on a banana, yellow means go ahead, green means go. Wait, no. Wait. All right, I got it. You ready? On a stoplight, red means hold on, yellow means go ahead, and green means hold on. On a banana, it's the complete opposite. Green means hold on, yellow means go ahead, and red means where the fuck did you get that red banana at?
Stuck the landing.
Where the fuck did you get that red
I like
banana
the Sprite ingredients ones.
at? Yes.
I think there's a little more to it than that.
Saved by the buoyancy of
like-
lime.
Yeah. He was a master, man.
I like the one where he was like, he had a neighbor that would like get pissed off at him for being loud and knock on the wall, and he'd be like, "Go around."
Go around.
Escalator can never be temporarily broken. It can only be temporarily
Temporary
stairs.
You're welcome
Yes.
for the convenience.
Sorry for the convenience.
Sorry.
Forget Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah, some of the fucking greatest minds of all time were heroin addicts.
Yes.
What is that attraction to that?
I feel like they
Euphoria.
have so much going through their mind when they're sober that they feel like it quiets it down a little bit. It helps them try to live with themselves
Yeah.
because they have overactive thoughts.
Mm.
So
I feel like
so much going on.
part of it is they were geniuses, and
Exactly.
geniuses tend to be very bored. It's a hallmark of being a genius. Like they're bored all the time, so they want something to give them that, cure that feeling.
Yeah, when he's not
even
on
if
stage.
temporarily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got into a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we got
But,
a lot done.
We did.
Y'all are the first. Like I did a jam sesh podcast with Chase Rains, but he didn't get to perform, so we're gonna have to run his back. But y'all are the first official
Heck yeah.
live performance jam sesh.
Heck yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again. I mean, you
Definitely
guys are
need
gonna
to,
be
yeah.
creating more music, and
Yeah, we got
sir.
an EP dropping soon. We got one more song
One
we're
more
working
song,
on.
almost out.
Oh, it's so good.
We don't
too.
have a name.
You're gonna like
for it
that song.
yet.
Yeah.
This is the first one that we've incorporated our acoustic guitar in.
Mm-hmm.
oh, cool.
In the music world, that's a big thing. They're so bright.
The mix already is so nice.
Yeah.
Once I master it, oh my god, it's gonna.
What's that one called?
We don't know yet. We haven't named it
Yeah,
yet.
we just know that it's like a Gaelic inspired thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll be down for that.
Yeah, so we're just gonna
sounds
come
very
up with
Gaelic.
something really like Irish.
Oh
Irish,
man,
Scottish,
I'm all on
yeah.
board with that.
Yes, bro.
Yeah. Damn, I might have to make that my intro if you guys will loan it
Yeah.
to me.
We don't mind, man.
Oh, I
sure
did. Before
will,
we
man.
go, I did want to ask y'all about, because the style that y'all do is very much lends itself to like that. Like it was great for an intro because it's very much like stock audio type music. Like I guess, I mean, obviously because there's no vocals, but at the same
Right.
time, like it is that like dreamy
Exactly.
sound. So
What we
like,
go for.
what are y'all's goals with your music ultimately? Like, I guess in what ways do you want to like, I guess make a living or even just
Right.
put it out there?
That's
Yeah.
the goal eventually.
So
Eventually, be able to make a living with it. It's harder these days.
I feel like we want to do, or I want to do for sure, Nate. Movies and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
would love to. I would
Do
love
movie
to be in
scores
a
and stuff. We
movie.
could definitely do that.
Yeah, I would love to be a composer in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my biggest goals.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, just keep getting better, keep doing what we're doing,
Don't go
And-
backwards.
and find that vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the way you make it nowadays in the music industry, you don't get picked up by a record label or something like that.
Right.
You keep the content coming. You grow your fan base, and then you launch merch, and where you really make your money is selling merchandise and playing live. You know.
Yeah.
And then you do get royalties from the plays and stuff, but if you're not getting millions, you're not making much at all.
Yeah.
You do, but the way that streams work is it's a fraction of what a CD costs. You know, like I think it's like 1/5,000th or something. I looked at the information the other day, and it's just they really took money from artists. So we're looking to sell some, you know, Shithouse Poets freaking
Shithouse merch.
Man.
Yeah, we're gonna come with some shit.
Who
For
wouldn't
real.
want a shirt that said Shithouse Poets? I mean, come on.
That would be sick.
Well, I think there's plenty of like local ways to like to perform, like and growing. It seems to be growing.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we're going to be doing a grand opening of our new shop in the near future. We're moving to a new shop, and I think they want to do like a big grand opening party. And I'm like
That'd be
trying
cool.
to pitch getting some live performers there to the owner. So
Let's go.
Let us know beforehand.
yeah,
we'll
I
learn
will.
some songs to, well, not learn, relearn.
right.
Yeah, we'll get it ready, and then I'll
down.
have to get the whole set ready beforehand on my DAW and everything. Then
Yeah, let us know.
for sure.
I definitely I'll mention you guys and see.
That'd be
Yeah,
sick,
man. And I want to say thank you very much for having us, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all coming.
my boy.
Hell yeah. I've been wanting to do it for a few months. We finally,
Yeah.
with everybody's schedule, it's hard to get it.
It was a bit weird, but we got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.